A Biden-appointed judge in Illinois just ruled that ICE must remove the very fence protecting its officers from daily unrest, and it's sparking outrage nationwide. And that's Judge LaShonda Hunt claims the 8-foot security barrier outside the Broadview ICE facility violates local, fire codes. But federal agents say it's the only thing separating them from mobs that have surrounded the site for weeks. And the midnight deadline for removal is here, and tensions are extremely high. Local leaders are calling it a victory for public safety, while conservatives warn one more example of judicial power being used to undermine federal law enforcement. So here's a question. Should a city ordinance ever have more authority than the federal officers sworn to uphold the law? Let me know in the comments, and we're going to go ahead and break this down. So my name is Tom. I'm with the Daily Beltway, and I'm also a White House correspondent for the Next News Network. And if you guys believe our federal agents deserve protection from political interference, hit that subscribe button and share this report, because what's happening in Broadview shows exactly how far activist rulings can go. So what happened next was captured on camera, and ABC 7 eyewitness news reporter Jasmine Miner stood outside the ICE facility as a midnight deadline will be approaching. She described the fence still standing under bright floodlights surrounded by marked ICE vehicles. The air was tense and no removal crews were in sight. Check this out.
That a federal judge has ruled that the fencing around this facility must come down by 11:59 tonight. Now, just being out here, I don't see any bulldozers, so it doesn't appear there's been much progress in that way. But we do know that the village of Broadview sued to have the 8-foot fence removed, saying it posed a public safety hazard because it blocks emergency responders. Attorneys for the federal government argued the fencing is needed for business and to protect vehicles and personnel. Well, Illinois legislators gathered outside the Broadview ICE facility yesterday in opposition of the immigration crackdown and calling for the fencing to come down immediately.
Mr. Trump, tear down this fence now. Tear it down. Tear down this symbol of division.
I'm sure that sounded way better on paper when they wrote it, but he's making the worst comparison ever. So here's what led to this. The village of Broadview filed suit against the Department of Homeland Security, claiming the fence blocked access for emergency vehicles and violated local fire code. And federal attorneys countered that the fence was a lawful temporary measure meant to protect agents from violent protesters. They cited 8 U.S.C. Code 1357. It's the statute that authorizes ICE to secure its operations, and argued that local ordinances cannot overrule federal authority. But Judge Hunt disagreed, ruling that ICE exceeded its authority by fencing off a public street. She ordered the agency to remove the barrier by midnight, calling a threat to public safety. Anyways, Broadview's mayor celebrated the ruling, saying it proved that nobody is above the law. But critics say the decision does the opposite, like, placing federal officers below the law and directly in harm's way.